Peace and good morning. I'd like to welcome you back into another edition of the Five Playland. As always, I'm your five player, making this short video regarding the aftermath of the Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin fight and the people alluding to Deontay Wilder fighting Dillian Whyte based off the fact that Dillian Whyte is come out the victor of this fight. But as far as the fight goes, I watched the fight, team stream, free of charge, and it was a decent fight. The actual card, believe it or not, wasn't that bad too. Like the fights were good. The Cheeseman fight was good. Chocolatito fight was good. But the Povetkin Dillian Whyte match, I mean, while it lasted, was pretty good too. A lot of people said Povetkin looked shot. Povetkin looked shot in the first fight. So, but Dillian Whyte is not the talent that people make him out to be. But he does hit hard. You know, he has a power punch to him. The last fight, Dillian Whyte looked out of shape, and the fight before that, Dillian Whyte looked out of shape too. And Povetkin just caught him slipping. I mean, Povetkin has his little tricks, and when Povetkin finds an opening, he could hit you or he could land. And the first fight and in this last fight, he was landing somewhat on Dillian Whyte, but he found his spots to land in the first fight. He found a really good spot to land in the first fight and knocked Dillian Whyte cold out. In this fight, he was finding his spots, but Dillian Whyte was too much, and Dillian Whyte actually did look in good shape in this fight. But a lot of people were pushing for Deontay Wilder to fight Dillian Whyte now that he's come out the victor. And people were calling for that fight right before Dillian Whyte even fought Povetkin this time. And I'm not like alluding to the past like year or two where Dillian Whyte was calling out Wilder. No, I'm talking about recently. Like I think a lot of people wanted Wilder to run into a Dillian Whyte fight in the hopes of there being less obstacles, like for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to fight. And I agree and disagree. Now, if Wilder has a legal case against Fury and it's tangible, like, you know, it's he has legs with that case. I mean, one, I could see why Wilder is not out in public saying, well, you know, I got Fury by the balls and he can't fight anybody else. So, you know, even though I would like for him to be doing that if that was the case, but if legally that's not helpful for his case, then, you know, all right, you know, don't say anything in the public. Like, I'm cool with that. But if what I think is happening is that the PBC like maybe messed up on this contract, and that this fight probably will be taking place like between AJ and Tyson Fury, as unfair as I think that may be. And I'm not saying that with 100% confidence either, because you heard a lot of fanfare like 2 weeks ago about that fight happening, and now you're hearing essentially nothing. Like Eddie Hearn's not saying anything, so like that kind of gives me a reason like for a pause. But I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like I'm not hearing anything from like the Wilder camp, although I am hearing something from Aram and from Hearn and AJ's camp. But if that fight does take place between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua next, then I really don't see a reason why Wilder shouldn't fight Dillian Whyte. I mean, no matter what, like it seems like the WBC is nudging Dillian Whyte to go fight Deontay Wilder. Then you have The fact that they have like unsettled business. I mean, Dillian Whyte's made a career pretty much off of the back of talking about Deontay Wilder. So the two options, if Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fight, the two options left for Wilder are either A, fight Dillian Whyte, or B, fight like a PBC option for no reason. Like, I mean, you're gonna fight like PBC style of like matchmaking is like kind of like to do a favor for somebody else on PBC. Like, you know, like, I mean, like, just look at the litany of all these PBC fights. It seems like they're hooking somebody up, like, on the back of some rising commodity, like, you know, then hook up like a kind of like the declining commodity, like for no reason, like, you know, i.e. like Danny Garcia fighting Errol Spence, fight that didn't need to happen, but they probably wanted to hook up Danny Garcia with one more paycheck, so they pair him up with Errol Spence, and a lot of people don't see past the fact that that's a whack fight. So it kind of gets lost in the muddle. But at the end of the day, your result is that the division stands pat, and they're like bad fights. So why, instead of doing that and fighting like a Charles Martin, like, you know, was rumored to be happening like a couple months ago, or wait on the Andy Garcia and or wait on Andy Ruiz to beat Areola? Because if Areola wins, you're not gonna want to fight Areola. And if Areola wins, is that a bigger fight than Dillian Whyte? Absolutely not. But why wait on a match like that when you could just fight Dillian Whyte and, you know, maintain a lofty position within the WBC? Not that I think that the WBC is the most illustrious, you know, end all be all. Like, you know, I think I'm little by little I'm losing faith in every division, like in boxing or any, you know, any traditional, you know, standard like commission or network. Like I lost faith in all of them. Like, none of them hold any clout to me. You could be hold the platinum diamond belt, you know, and I'm just, it means zero to me. But in the spirit of keeping up with the Joneses, and in that sense, and this is bar like only like if Anthony Joshua and Fury fight next, then why not fight Dillian Whyte? Go run towards that fight. You should have fought Dillian Whyte instead of fighting Luis Ortiz the second time. You know, but again, they probably wanted to hook up Luis Ortiz, so they pair Deontay Wilder, you know, with Luis Ortiz, like to be nice. Meanwhile, Fury's fighting, you know, nobodies, getting ready to fight Deontay Wilder, but they got Wilder going through, you know, a tough fight with Ortiz. But again, like, this is only if Fury and Anthony Joshua fight next. I mean, the options are limited here. And on top of that too, I'm pretty sure that Wilder doesn't want to take a steep cut in as far as his pay goes. So why fight like a Charles Martin? Like, how much are you gonna make for fighting Charles Martin? At most, you know, 5 million maybe. Like, you know, Dillian Whyte, you know, or fighting Dillian Whyte, especially in the UK. I've been saying that they should fight in the UK. I mean, you're gonna be able to get paid a nice amount of money for that. And no, I don't subscribe to the idiots that say, oh, that Dillian Whyte would be the biggest name on Wilder's resume. Dillian Whyte is a nobody to me. But in the spirit of like seeing his head get busted open by Wilder, you know, take that fight instead. Or not instead. If you don't fight Tyson Fury next, you know, go ahead and fight Dillian Whyte. Like, but with that, I'm out. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.